Hi there, Zam from NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Mayor of Kingstown Season 3, Episode 9, Home on the Range. A fantastic episode that was almost an hour long, about 20 minutes longer than most episodes of Mayor of Kingstown. There's a lot to pack in. So let's start with the bit which I find, I don't know, maybe the least important, but at the same time very interesting. And that is of Charlie and Ian. Now, I don't exactly know sometimes what's going on with Charlie and Ian. I know Ian has a sort of relationship with Charlie. Charlie has the mind of a child, but I think he has more than one personality in that brain of his. And he's also a hulking man as well, a big guy. And you don't want him to fucking switch and turn into this monster, which he can do. But they're looking for something in the woods, and Ian's taking him out of prison to help him find that. Ian's also got his mate with him. His work police colleague with him, just as a bit of backup. And as they go to look for this thing, they find it, whatever that thing may be. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I totally forgot about it. These are one of these subplots where it's hard to fucking remember everything that's going on. And Charlie at times feels like he might just switch. You know, he gets a bit impatient at times because when they're looking for what they're looking for, he can't remember it all the time. Things don't come into play in his mind. And he gets a bit irritated, and you think he's going to turn into this fucking crazy person because of his irritation. But luckily, Ian tries to make him look for his happy place and all of that, so he doesn't fucking go nuts. Later on, once they do find what they're looking for, all the police come along, and Charlie is back in the police car with Ian. There's police around them, but not too close. And then Charlie starts mentioning certain things like to Ian, like, what about the guy on the porch? And when he said that about what about the guy on the porch, but earlier on he was talking to Ian about who you texting and like that, like a child. He's saying, who you texting, who you talking to? And then Ian just comes up with some random lie about somebody. He's talking to somebody to feed his cat. And then Charlie goes, what about the guy on the porch? And this is the person Charlie killed last season with Ian there. And Ian did the cover up for that. And all of a sudden Ian just pulls out his gun and just starts shooting Charlie, kills him there and then, and says, I had to do it. Charlie just came at me. He just switched. But the funny thing is, we did see Charlie switch. He never necessarily attacked Ian, but his personality switched from being this childlike character to this man-like character. You know, and it's a shame really, because Charlie is a very interesting character. You know, this guy with his personality defects and stuff like that. I would like to see more, but he's dead now. But that last moment of him, seeing him with that switch, that was fucking scary and crazy at the same time. Ian does get involved in other shit as well, because Raphael, he does escape prison. Now Bunny knows about this, and Bunny does meet Raphael. When I say escape prison, he's actually, I think he's in court for maybe a hearing or whatever, and he just smoothly just escapes without anybody realizing. And, you know, and he walks on the street, sees Bunny, sees his wife, sees his kid. You know, Bunny has a mission for Raphael, because Raphael has to go back to jail. They're never going to stop looking for him. But before he does, he wants Raphael to kill Callahan, because Callahan is also out of jail in a proper hospital getting treatment for the shit that happened to him when the Crips were throwing grenades into the prison yard. And when Raphael goes to kill Callahan, Callahan's not there. A dead police officer's there. Now Raphael in that particular moment is like, what the fuck? And he leaves the hospital very quickly, not even thinking about maybe looking in the toilet to see if Callahan's there, because Callahan was in the toilet, and he's still pretty fucked up, by the way. And later on, Callahan gets caught by the other cops looking for him, so he's not going anywhere, but he doesn't get killed either. So we'll see how that pans out for Callahan. And regarding Raphael, I actually thought he was going to get killed, because Robert, the SWAT guy, he's been told about, you know, Raphael going to, like, you know, turn himself in later on today. And obviously Robert wants to shoot anybody in sight when it comes to how he does his job. Doesn't trust anybody, you know, always feels that everyone's packing. And you did feel that there was going to be like a moment of a cliche moment of Robert not being able to control himself when Raphael finally turned himself in. But Robert did control himself. He was a bit aggressive with Raphael, kicked him in the back and stuff like that, but didn't shoot him. And thank God that was the case, because honestly, if it was cliched like that, this show would be not as good as it is. Because the best thing about this show is it isn't cliched, and that's what I love about it. What we also get in this, as well as obviously Mike trying to liaise with Bunny, because obviously them two have fallen apart, and Mike does speak to Bunny earlier on, telling him how, you know, we need to get back at the Aryans. We need to get back at the Russians, because this is our town. They're the outsiders. We're the insiders. We're the ones who run this shit. And Bunny kind of agrees. You know, he does agree. They do try to set up the Russians with a fake sort of gun run sort of thing, where Mike goes to Constantine and tells him, look, I think the Crips are going to be smuggling some weapons and trying to sell them off, and this is your opportunity to hijack them and steal all their guns and everything and make some money off the weapons yourself. Constantine, obviously being skeptical about Mike, says, why would you want to help us? And Mike reminds him, well, look, I was at your place when the Crips shot the shit out of it, and they knew I was there, but they didn't care, so I have no love for Bunny anymore. Constantine kind of buys this, but he's obviously always going to be a skeptical man, and he sends one his lieutenant, whose name escapes me, to check out this particular place or do some other work. I totally forget, because I know Constantine is into people smuggling, especially young girls, and I do mean girls. We're talking like 16, 17-year-olds, and he goes to this particular dock where he sees this like butch woman there and gives her some money and some papers, but out of nowhere, fucking Milo returns. Now, we all knew Milo was going to come back, and Milo was hinted a little bit earlier on in this episode when Iris and Mike were talking about certain things, and Milo's name was brought up. But Milo is back. He's finally back. We all knew he didn't die on that boat. We heard the recorded message and shit, like, or the voice message and shit like that. Now we just need to know where Iris stands in all of this. Is she working for Milo and double-crossing Mike? Or is she working for Mike and double-crossing Milo? Or was she just working for herself? Who knows? I mean, she's definitely not working for Constantine. We know that. So we'll see how that pans out. And obviously, Constantine is always trying to tell Iris to leave. He's got like a package for her where she can leave. But Iris, once again, will never take that package, because she believes it's a test. And if she takes the package, she'll fail the test, and probably Constantine will kill her. So she's not like taking that bait, so to speak, even though it sounds very lucrative. Yeah, so those were the main things that happened. Obviously, Tracy, by the way, let's not forget on her. She finally confesses to Carl what happened regarding her and that prison guard, and how Mike dealt with the situation. This was because she rear-ended the car against that prison guard's car, and when Carl saw the damage, he asked her a couple of simple questions. She wasn't making any sense. Him being a cop, interrogating people is what he does best, and realized, what the fuck's going on? Why are you bullshitting me? And eventually Tracy owns up and tells him to score. He's a bit upset because he's the man, he's the husband, he should be protecting his wife, and he's upset that he got Mike to do it. But she's trying to make him understand, listen, I know you're my husband, but I didn't want to put this situation on you, because you got a lot to deal with, and I didn't want you to do something you might regret, which is why I let Mike do it. I get both of their points. I genuinely do. She's looking out for him by not making him get his hands dirty, even though he's a fucking cop and will probably get away with anything regardless. Finally, there's Kareem. He's getting interrogated by some government official regarding the Kingstown penitentiary and how there's shit always going on there, and he's going to lose his position as warden. Now, the guy questioning him mentions that how did the people throwing those grenades over and those snipers knew where the Aryans were at that particular time, which made Kareem realize, okay, well, there's an insider. And I do feel that he's going to find out is that particular prison guard, the one that works for the Crips, because that prison guard who worked for the Crips said that he thinks that the guy who was throwing the grenades is white. Obviously he's not, he's black, but he's obviously trying to, make the trail go a different direction. Kareem said, well, the guy could be Asian, he could be Latino. Are you sure he's white? Just because you saw a little bit of skin color on the guy's hand. And the prison guard was adamant, yeah, he's white. I do think Kareem's going to realise that this prison guard's full of shit and he's the insider and all of that. We'll find out what happens regarding that. I think one of them two might be dead by the end of this particular season once the revelation comes out. And regarding the Aryans and the Crips and the Russians, like, you know, it's a triangular bit of warfare there. We'll see how all of that pans out when they all have to start maybe putting an end to their beef or putting a lid, closing a lid on it, so to speak, because somebody has to come out victorious in all of that. And we feel that that's in play as well. And by the way, Callahan didn't know that the guy trying to kill him was a Crip. He didn't see the guy. He was hiding in the toilet. He probably thought the person was a Russian, as far as he's concerned. So yeah, there's so much shit going on. It's just amazing. Just another great episode. And regarding Kareem, when he loses his job, probably he's really pissed off about it. He's really emotional about it. You know, he doesn't want to have to start climbing the ranks again. He's an old man now. You know, he climbed the ranks when he was younger to get to the position as an older guy, but he doesn't want to be told to climb the ranks again because he won't fucking make it in the second time round. He earned his spot, and he's pissed off that it's been taken away from him. I know how he feels. Great episode. Fantastic episode. One of the best shows on television, without a doubt, that nobody fucking watches. And they should, because this is quality shit. Real quality. 9 out of 10. I just can't wait. Now Milo's back. Finally, he's back. You know, I'm a bit upset that he's come back so late in the season. But regardless, what an entrance. And we'll see what he does next. He never killed Constantine's guard. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. He kept him alive even though he shot him in the leg. So he's going to interrogate him for sure. We'll see what happens in the future. Anyway, let me know what you think of this episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We're the greatest social media channel you never heard of. We're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitch. We were on Twitter, but Elon wants us to fucking pay for that now. Fuck him, he's a billionaire. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.